Hello Aquarius, welcome to your reading for December. This is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus. Please make sure you check all your placements to get a clear picture of what's going on for you at this time. As always, this is a general reading. It may or may not resonate for all of you. Please take the bits that do resonate and leave the rest behind for somebody else. I'm primarily a love reader. That's what I'm going to focus on. If anything else pops up, I will address it, of course. Now, we're going to freestyle your tarot spread, starting off with some oracle cards. Towards the end of the reading, I will be rolling some dice to get initials and sun signs and angel numbers for you. So make sure you stick around for that. I have dog hair all over me. Anyway, we have the crone. My goodness. Who got this before you? Cancer and Libra right before you. We will talk about this. There's a temple next door. You will hear a bell. And then we have darkest hour. There in the void of thy darkness swells the shadow of the soul, swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. Interesting. There's a lot of scorpionic energy here. The crone says, thy wisdom befriends the honor in which weaves within blood, a heroing call from the depths of your sacredness. You see how there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of wisdom here, there's a lot of sacredness here that has emerged from deep within your psyche. For some of you, you may have hit rock bottom. That's what the darkest hour represents for me. It is your soul almost taking a deep dive into the underworld during Scorpio season, right before Sagittarius season, where we are right now, and almost purifying itself, cleansing itself before it can be released back up. There is a very fine line between, it can be very tempting to give in to that darkness and let it turn you wicked, right? If you've gone through something traumatic and painful, you can use it as that chip on your shoulder to almost become one of the worst versions of yourselves. I've seen that happen to a lot of people. But true wisdom and true power emerges when you use that darkness to not just guide yourself back to the light, but to guide other people back to the light. That's what the crone does. So there has been a transformation here, and I feel like it's been a transformation for the better. Let's see. There's a lot of growing up that's happened here. We have the King of Pentacles. Could be dealing with an earth sign. You may have earth heavily in your chart. Doesn't have to be, but you remember what I said about using that shadow wisely. I feel like you have. The King of Pentacles, regardless of gender, can be someone who's very generous and kind and empathetic and understanding and a good leader, right? This is someone who holds on to their roots and doesn't lose themselves in this process of the darkest hour. I don't know if this is you or it's someone you are dealing with. We will see. Then we have the Page of Cups. The innocence that sometimes gets lost in translation. When you're moving to the light, you've retained it. The Page of Cups is, I wouldn't say immature, but can be a little naive. But the Page of Cups also holds on to goodness, to purity, to light. The Marilude, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is the High Priestess. That's the crone. Wow, there's a lot of power here, but with that power, there's a lot of kindness. I'm getting a lot of gentle strength, graceful strength that has come into you, woven into your psyche here, Aquarius. Then we have the Queen of Swords, but all of that gentleness should not be confused with you being weak. I feel like you have built boundaries where they needed to be built, but you're not building walls, which is very important, because walls can, yes, protect you, but they can also keep good energies out. Boundaries, on the other hand, they're just fine lines in the sand, right? And you decide who gets to walk over them and who needs to stay away. And with this Queen of Swords energy, regardless of gender, I feel like you're only asking for the truth now because you've realized the importance of it. With the darkest hour and the crone, a lot of deep, heavy work has been done. And you deserve this. This is what the universe wants to bring in because you've done so much work on yourself. The Ten of Cups. If an apology is due to you, Aquarius, I'm getting that that's coming in as well. Oh, and the Eight of Wands. Communication, movement, travel. Some of you may even be connected to somebody in the 5D. That is possible as well. I know that sounds really woo-woo witchy magic, but for someone who can be very spiritual like you, Aquarius, it is not impossible. If there is a separation in your midst, right, I wouldn't be surprised if your higher selves are still connected in the ether, right? But the Eight of Wands and the High Priestess could be telling me that a lot of messages could be coming in through your subconscious mind and your dreams. It is of vital importance for you to keep a dream journal right now, especially because Neptune is finally going direct in the sign of Pisces on the 6th of December. And when that happens, we can start trusting our intuition again, right? The rose-colored glasses that Neptune is famous for, the tint gets just a little bit lighter. But either way, this is communication. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. I'm going to have to clarify this before I say anything about it, but I feel like there are people around you who are willing to help speed up whatever this process is, whatever this quest is that you're on. But we will see. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady wins the race. Though the Eight of Wands is telling me that there's fast-paced movement, it's not reckless. That's very important because fire energy can be very reckless energy. It's here 1 minute and gone the next, right? The Knight of Pentacles is diligent. The Knight of Pentacles takes his or her own sweet time to get to where it is where they want to get to, because they have done their homework, right? Oh, Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Someone wants to be seen. It's almost like you're in a place of authority now. I can't shake it. And someone is almost craving your validation. The Sun, beautiful. All of the darkness, the darkest hour, all of the darkness has been processed. Aquarius. Bell just rang. Give me a minute. Maybe that doorbell was a sign. But all of that darkness has been processed and the sun is ready to shine again. The King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords can be a couple, right? This can be two people who are very independent, very mature, and can come in together to create absolute joy and absolute magic. So I don't know if this is, again, someone from the past or someone brand new coming in for you, but I like the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles together. Regardless of gender, I feel like they do a really good job at grounding each other and truly hearing each other out. You know what I mean? But this is nice. Okay. This is nice. It's so nice. That's all I can say. It is nice. The Two of Cups. The Two of Cups with the Ten of Cups and the Page of Cups. I feel like you've been missing softness in your life, Aquarius. Life has been harsh. It's been difficult. It's been painful and dark. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but this is two people who are on the same frequency. This is two people who want to come in together to create a beautiful happily ever after. And I feel like a lot of you have manifested this, whether you realize it or you don't. And those are the fastest manifestations when you don't even realize you're sending those orders out to the universe, right? They're all purely subconscious. And we have the Moon. I have been getting a lot of Pisces energy here. And it doesn't have to mean you're a Pisces or you're dealing with a Pisces or anything like that. But there's a lot of spiritual awakenings here. There's a lot of spiritual development here. And this connection that we're talking about is highly spiritual. The High Priestess and the Moon together, I mean, that's not a coincidence, right? So I feel it's important for heart-to-heart conversations to happen now. It is important, vitally important, for you to allow yourself to be vulnerable at this time. The Moon can represent traumas and it can represent deep, dark emotions that have been buried. But what is interesting is you see the Sun and the Moon bookending each other. the moon on its own has no light, right? It needs the light of the sun to shine. I almost feel that the joy that you are cultivating and creating within this situation is going to help address all of the traumas that may have been ignored, whether they are deep within yourself, your personal trials, or trials within this connection, or trials that are personal to the other person. But there's almost this acknowledgement of another's shadow. There's an acceptance of another's shadow, which is so important, because life is not sunshine and rainbows, right? There's a vulnerability here that is bringing two people together. This reading is absolutely phenomenal. We have the Knight of Swords with the Three of Pentacles. I'd be very careful about listening to naysayers, right? I'd be very careful about listening to people who may not have your best interest at heart. People who may give unwanted opinions and you may be forced to listen to them, right? We do have a couple of transits that Mercury is making, and we have Mercury going retrograde very soon. We're already in the pre-shadow period. So there could be a few people who may wish the best for you, don't get me wrong. But I would listen to your intuition over those people right now. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. This is absolutely beautiful. There's a learning that's happening here as well. A learning of, there you go, who to trust and who to hold back from. Unwanted opinions right now will not serve you, Aquarius. I feel like all the answers that you need, the direction, the North Star, the purpose that you need, all resides within you. You just need to tap into it. All right, that wanted to show up. The Four of Wands. This reading is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. The Four of Wands is a coming together, and I literally was going to say that when I saw the Two of Cups. It's a coming together of two people. And the Four of Wands is all things permanent, right? It's the number 4. This is 1111. This is the 4 walls of a home, the 4 seasons, the 4 cardinal directions, all things that are unchanging, right? This is a peace that your heart needs after all of that tumultuous chaos that it's been through. It's a place where your heart can rest. I would never promote you to build a home in another person, because that can always leave them with the power to render you homeless. It's always best to build a home within you, but you can share that home with another. And I feel like you are allowing yourself now to share your heart space with another person. I absolutely love this. This hasn't come out of nowhere. You've worked really hard to get to this place. The Four of Pentacles again. Holding back, trusting those boundaries that you have built, right? I'm saying boundaries, not walls. Trusting those boundaries and knowing when to say no, right? Just because there's an element of unconditional love here, it does not mean that you're going to wear your heart on your sleeve. You are still going to be in this Queen of Swords energy. You're still going to be very logical and careful about how you're conducting yourself. When love comes into the picture, common sense goes out the door. I don't think that's going to happen to you. We have the Crone, right? Which is the wisest person out there. So trust yourself. I think that is the most important thing in this reading. You may have made poor decisions in the past that may have left you in pain, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. You've really grown up, Aquarius, and you deserve all of this joy that's making its way to you. All right, crazy flip. We have the number 9. 999 talks about endings. If you've been seeing 999, that is, it also talks about release. It's time to let go of what is no longer serving you, and this could just mean empty chatter. It could mean people who are leading you astray. It could mean patterns that and templates that your relationships may have followed in the past. It's time to get off the hamster wheel and start doing things a little differently. Look at the potential that the universe is offering you, right? What road are you going to take? Don't keep following the same road that was leading you to dead ends earlier. There's a regeneration that's happening here. It's a beautiful opportunity. You need to strike while the iron is hot. Then we have Leo. You could be dealing with a Leo. You may have Leo heavily in your chart. Doesn't have to be, but this is the 5th house. This is the house of play and romance and creativity and joy and art and music, right? Indulge just a little bit. We don't have a lot of activity within Leo at this time because we're so far towards the end of the year, but don't forget to tap into that 5th house energy, okay? And then we have, is that Mars? Yep, that is Mars. That's a lot of fire energy happening. That's a lot of yang. So there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of fast-paced movement. There's going to be a lot of activity. Just don't overwhelm yourself with it, right? Because I feel like I said earlier, you've been through a lot already. Don't overwork that subconscious mind. Don't overwork your heart. Make sure you're taking out time for rest and relaxation as well with the 4 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles. Say no if you need to. If there's an invitation that doesn't look particularly exciting, don't force yourself to go, right? Self-preservation is very important around this time before the winter solstice, and even a little bit after that, because it is the darkest hour. That is the winter solstice, right? All right, as for your letters, we have the letters Z or Z, L, O, D, B, G, and S. These could be your initials, they could be the initials of the person you're dealing with. Doesn't have to be, but just a special mention for those of you who've seen your initials here today. All right, Aquarius, that was it. I hope this helped. I will see you with the next one. Bye-bye.